Right, we're going to start going into pre-calculus. We have already done some topics which are preparation for calculus as well, but this is really truly getting into it now. We deal a lot with functions in calculus, and so this is really the start of many different aspects of calculus. A composite function is really a function of a function, or in other words, a function inside another function. Let's take an example. If f of x is x squared plus 3x minus 4 and g of x is 7x minus 1, then we could say f of g of x. So now g of x is slotted inside f of x. So when we substitute into a function, we substitute for the x value. So we are going to put g of x instead of x. So instead of x squared, we're going to have g of x squared, which is 7x minus 1 squared. Instead of 3x, we're going to have 3 times g of x, which is 3 times 7x minus 1. And then we simplify. Another notation for it, which is used quite a lot, is this one, f of g of x. And f is the outside function and g of x is the inside function. So here we are, f of x is outside surrounding g of x. So g of x is inside. So let's find g of f of x. So we're going back to these same functions. Now the g is on the outside, so the 7x minus 1 is on the outside. So therefore 7 times minus 1 on the outside. And if we're substituting into g of x, we're going to put whatever that something is in place of x. So there's g of x. So we're going to put whatever we're substituting in place of that x, which is now f of x. So there's f of x, x squared plus 3x minus 4. So we're going to put x squared plus 3x minus 4 instead of the 7. There we are. And multiply out to simplify. And this is g of f of x. The textbook uses this notation a lot. Right, here's some exercises for you. Starting at some simple little ones and then a bit of thinking for you, but not too much. I think you'll find this section pretty straightforward. Pause and try these exercises first before you go on to the demonstration of how to do them. Right, let's go through them. Number 1, f of g of x. There we are. F is the outside function, so 3x plus 4 is outside and x plus 2 is inside, where x plus 2 is going to go in place of x. And then we simplify. In number 2, g is on the outside, so we're going to have x plus 2 on the outside. So there we are, plus 2. And inside, we're going to put f of x, which is 3x plus 4, instead of the x. So therefore, 3x plus 4 plus 2. Notice g, x plus 2, but we're substituting f of x for x. And simplify. F of g of 2. Well, if you're asked straight to find f of g of 2, first we have to do is find f of g of x. And we have done it already, so that's why it's faded here, just to show what you would do if you're doing that from scratch. So there's the 3x plus 10, so I'm going to substitute 2 into 3x plus 10. G of f of 2, same thing. I'm going to go through that process here. But once again, we don't need to do that because we have already done it there. So we'll go straight to 3x plus 6 and we're substituting 2 for x. So 3 times 2 plus 6, giving us 12. There's no harm in finding f of 2, and whatever answer you get, then substituting it into g, or finding g of 2 And then once you have your answer, substituting it into f of x. That will work the same way. F of x. So we're going to substitute 3x plus 4 for x in 3x plus 4. So there we are. 3 times, boom, plus 4. So 3 times 3x plus 4 plus 4. Simplified. And g of x, x plus 2, and we're going to substitute x plus 2 for x. So therefore, x plus 2 plus 2, giving us x plus 4. So f of g of 2. What we're going to do is we're going to either find g of 2 and then substitute the f, or we can find f of g of x, which I'm going to do just so that you have some practice at it. So here we go. F of g of 2. So f's on the outside, x squared plus 1, and we're putting root 2x instead of x inside f of x. So there we are. Instead of x squared, we have root 2x, all squared plus 1. Give you 2x plus 1, and then we substitute the 2. In this case, g of f of 2, so square root of 2x is on the outside, f of x is on the inside, so I'm going to put x squared plus 1 instead of x there. So we'll have twice, and then inside x squared plus 1. So there's square root of 2x, which is what g is, but now we substituted f of x for it. Simplifies to the square root of 2x squared plus 2, which is the square root of 10. Sorry about that. I hope I came back at the right place. The cat was giving me hassle, so I had to stop it. That's why I pressed the wrong button to start with. Right, f of x is x plus 1. G of x is absolute value of x. So now g of f of x, the g is on the outside. So the absolute value is on the outside, and the f of x is on the inside. So therefore, we'll have absolute value of, and instead of x, we're going to put f of x, which is x plus 1. This next one, g of f of minus 3, well, we can go from there then. We can substitute into there. Notice I put it shaded there just to show that it's there in the first place, which is equal to, and I substitute minus 3 for x, and absolute value of negative 2 is 2. And then 1 resulting in an absolute value equation. G of f of x equals 5. Well, we already have g of f of x, so we're going to put it equal to 5. Now that means, if you remember from your techniques of absolute value equation, plus or minus the x plus 1 is equal to 5, because the positive or the negative could be inside there to give you 5, which means x plus 1 can be plus or minus 5. And when you solve that, you'll get plus 5 minus 1 is 4, and minus 5 minus 1 is minus 6. Finally, these ones, it's now asking you to recognize outside and inside functions. Well, if you have a look at the first, the outside one seems to be something to the 10, and the x squared minus 1 is on the inside. So that's what we'll do. We'll say f of x is x to the 10, and g of x is x squared minus 1. If we have a look here, we have x squared plus 1 repeated, so we got 5 times x to the 10 plus x. So there is the f of x, 5x to the 10 plus x. And then we have taken x squared plus 1 and put it instead of the x there and instead of the x there. This one's pretty straightforward. Number 3, the square root has to be the outside. So g of x is square root of x, because it's g of f of x, so g is on the outside. And x squared plus 10 on the inside, that's f of x. G of f of x, square root of 2x plus 1 over square root of 2 of x. So it seems clear the inside is the square root of 2x. So therefore the outside, g is on the outside, is x plus 1 over x. And the inside, f of x, is root 2x. Well, this might seem a bit of a puzzle, because if you consider that 3x plus 2, there's nothing substituted in or anything else like that. Well, what we can do then is say, well, that means f of x is 3x plus 2, and g of x is just straight x. So f of x, 3x plus 2, g of x equals x. F of g of x here, probably the simplest of the lot. F 1 over x, g 3x plus 2. That concludes this lesson on composite functions. Then we're going to go into the next aspect of functions after that, called piecewise defined functions, but that's for the next lesson.